Why do you not feel like working? Yeah, the topic is a bit of a pain point, a big pain point for most of the youth nowadays, including me, which, yeah, I could call myself as a youth, as a 27-year-old man. I could call myself young adult. I think anyone below 30 years old is a young adult. So, why do we feel like this? Why do we feel like we are having problems on working? Why is it so hard to get ourselves to work? You need to understand something to really understand this problem is that we are a spoiled generation. Yes, we are. Nobody wants to admit this, but yeah, we are. Some people don't like to agree that they have been spoiled. They like to believe that they lack opportunities, but that's a lie. That's a lie we all tell ourselves. We are a spoiled generation. What that means is that we have so many things, so many things to enjoy. At certain age, we feel like we have had all the experiences in the world that we can at that moment, and which means that we're gonna have a trouble on enjoying other things, such as working, such as reading books, such as watching a long video movie. Back in the day, I was watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy in one sitting or two sittings if I had time. But nowadays, even though I love it, I sometimes have a trouble finishing the first one in the first sitting, which is quite sad. As humans, our brains do not like boredom. Boredom is like a hell. It likes pain, literal pain, more than boredom. That has to say something. That has to say something. That's why you can't stop scrolling on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or maybe X. That's the reason you can't get yourself to stop doing the brain rot activities. You can't stop not no fap. You can't stop fapping. You can't stop smoking weeds. You can't stop social media addiction. You can't stop your addictions because you hate being bored. Your brain can't stand that. Your brain always wants something. It hates nothing. When you don't have anything, when you don't experience some things, some sort of dopamine, your brain hates that. Even pain has some sorts of dopamine, but staying silent, doing nothing, looking at the wall is never dopamine inducing. That's why you hate boredom. That's why you can't stand to boredom. That's why you can't get yourself to remove those addictions, those dopamine inducing brain growth activities. And as long as you're doing those, as long as you're doing that much of dopamine inducing activities, you'll have trouble on getting yourself to work, because work is low dopamine. You have to lower your dopamine levels to get yourself to work, to make work plausible, to make work a possibility, and even a good possibility that you like working, you have to first lower your dopamine levels. And to do that, you need dopamine detox, which is hard, which requires a hard will, pushing through obstacles, being consistent, and struggling so much. Keeping up with boredom. I'm laughing, maybe not laughing, smiling, because I'm struggling with it right now. Lately, I just realized that after I wanted to keep up with all the politics in the world, I downloaded X and have been spending so much time with it. And I hate it. I hate that I'm not comfortable sitting in the toilet without opening the X app. Which is ugly. Which is very ugly. It's funny, man. It's really funny, brother. Because I like working. And I have to work, which is a cherry on top. I have to work. I have to be able to provide for my family. And that means I have to lower my dopamine levels on other things so that I could easily work. And fantastic entrepreneur Alex Hormozi, probably you know it, but you know him, but let me tell you about him. He, whenever he wants to work, he locks himself into a room that has no windows and nothing in the room, just the desk, the chair, and his laptop to work. And he says that when you have nothing else to do, work is the most enjoyable thing you can do, which is what he does, which is what Carl Jung did. We can learn about it from the Deep Work book by Cal Newport. He says it there. I don't remember how did he call that special place where he works for deep work, but he does it. He did do that. In a distracted world of today's lives, could you say that? Anyway, in a distracted world of today, being able to focus for prolonged periods of time is a superpower. Being able to stand with boredom and being able to make yourself work. I'm saying make. Even if you don't have the joy of work, you can make yourself work. And if you like it, that's awesome. Being able to work for a prolonged period of time, being able to focus for that time period, being able to sit in boredom for a couple minutes, even a couple minutes, is a superpower in today's world, because everyone, including me and you, brother, we are distracted. The world is distracted right now. And if you can stay silent in boredom for even a couple minutes and then get yourself to work, that is a superpower. Hope you get it. Take care.